Hey everybody, welcome to the Former Athlete Society. This is our Q&A call. We do this every Thursday, and I am just excited that you're here. Now, whether you are here live, right? We do these on YouTube all the time. Whether you're catching this live or you're watching the replay later, I'm just thrilled that you're actually showing up for yourself, that you decided to join us here in the Former Athlete Society. This session is packed. It's overflowing, really, with actionable insights, hard earned lessons, and plenty of real world examples that I've accumulated over years of coaching in strength and conditioning and my own personal fitness journey. If you don't know who I am, just a couple things real quick. My name is Adam Ringler. I've been a strength and conditioning coach all of my life, right? Let's see if this works here. Yes, cool. Adam Ringler, strength and conditioning all of my life. I've worked in Division One, P4 athletics, right? And I'm trying to distill all these lessons that I've learned through my coaching journey and give you the actionable insights that you can use. Now, look, I know how these YouTube live calls can go, right? And sometimes we get great interactions and questions from the group, the Former Athlete Society, and other times it's just you and me, right? And which is fine, right? Honestly, because it is powerful when it's just one-on-one, because I can go a little bit deeper on these questions without holding back. Sometimes when I get these live Q&A calls and I'm answering them on our live YouTube, right? Sometimes the answers are superficial. But today I have several questions from our Former Athlete Society queued up, ready to go. We're talking about training aids. We're talking about sleep. We're talking about supplements, intensifiers and lifts, coffee, all of this stuff. And I'm giving you my tried and true sort of lessons that I've learned throughout my time. So we're going to take our time. We're going to unpack maybe some of the nuances, and I'm going to give you a game plan that you can run with immediately. So grab your notebook, pause the video right now if you're watching this, right? Because you can do that. It's not live. And grab a coffee, grab a tea. Let's get started. Question number one that I want to get into, and I need to jump over to my other screen because I got to read these off here. Question one. Let's get it into it. So this one, Kevin from Arizona asks, Adam, do you use training aids like belts, straps, sleeves? Are they crutches or can they actually help? And that's a great question, Kevin, right? This topic tends to split strength coaches right down the middle. Old school lifters like myself will say, I don't need any of that, raw strength only, blah, blah, blah. Others seem to rely on every piece of gym gear from wrist straps to powerlifting shoes, Olympic weightlifting shoes, like it's some sort of personal armor, right? Here's the truth. I found after nearly 2 decades of coaching and lifting, it's not black and white. These are tools. And like any tool, they're just as valuable or as useless as you intend to use them. So let's start with my own experience, right? Years ago, I developed some tendonitis in my left elbow. So bad so that I couldn't even pick up a cup of coffee without it sort of aching and wincing, if you will. And after some trial and error, I started incorporating Mark Bell's raw elbow sleeves into all of my lifts. Now, these sleeves aren't magic. They won't fix tendonitis or anything like that, but they provide warmth and some compression and maybe just enough support to keep me training hard without aggravating any issues. Now, I wear them every session, right? I do. It's just what I do. Now, I don't do cardio in my elbow sleeves. I don't wear them around anywhere else, but they keep my joints strong and somewhat adaptive. Now, belts, same philosophy. When I'm squatting or pulling north of maybe 85, 90% of my max, I throw in a weight belt like my Elite FTS belt or my Chic belt. Because why? Like, why would I do that? It creates a little intra-abdominal pressure that supports my spine. It's like using a seatbelt. You don't need it pulling out of your driveway, but on the highway, when traffic is flying around you, you'll be glad that it's actually there. So off season or during hypertrophy blocks with lighter loads, sure, go beltless, right? To reinforce maybe core strength and postural stability, things like that. Now, I will say this, straps are another misunderstood piece of kit. I use them for heavy RDLs, heavy lunges, or anything where I'm gripping things, heavy rows where grip might fatigue, more so than my primary movers, right? But for pull-ups or farmer's carries or deadlifts below 70%, I train raw, right? Building a crushing grip is still a non-negotiable. Other notes, right? Footwear. I used to be religious about my Nike lifters for squats and Olympic lifts. These days, I'm just lifting in my regular shoes. Most of the time I lift in my canes, to be honest, unless it's leg day, right? Again, it's about matching the tool to the task. So the key takeaway, training aids aren't cheating. And they're not shortcuts either. They're like a wrench or a screwdriver. They're a tool, perfect for some specific jobs, but unnecessary for others. So you got to earn the right to use them. You got to build your base. You got to let them extend your career, not become a training crutch for you. Now, with that said, a couple of things. If you're watching this video right now, I want you to take a moment and I want you to do this for me. I want you to like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, right? Help the algorithm and others find our YouTube channel, the Former Athlete Society, and what we're doing here at Adam Ringler. Because quite frankly, I absolutely know that we can get these numbers up. We can improve our likes, our shares, our subscriptions here. I want you to help us out. If you've gotten any value out of these videos, help me help you, Toby McGuire, right? So question number 2, right? And this one I wanted to get into it because I love this question. Now, Maria from Chicago asks me and the Former Athlete Society this: Adam, do you take any sleep supplements? I've been struggling to wind down after long days. Now, that is awesome, Maria, right? And also, too, just as an example, I love Chicago. It's one of my favorite cities, believe it or not. I used to jump in the South Shore train from Michigan and ride it over into Chicago and have a whole day in Chicago and ride it back, the last train back. And nobody would ever know, right? But that's awesome. Sleep is the recovery king, right? Forget about macros or meticulous periodization strategies, high-tech recovery gadgets. If your sleep sucks, you're just spinning your wheels at best, right? So yeah, I built maybe a small but powerful pre-bed stack that helps me transition out of my work mode, right, and into sort of restful sleep. So first is magnesium glycinate. Now it's different from the magnesium oxide or citrate, which often, for a lot of people, gives digestion upset, right? So the glycinate absorbs well, helps calm the nervous system, and I take it about an hour before bed. And that tends to help me. N of 1, right? Buyer beware. But for me, I like it. I also take a supplement that has some GABA in it. It's a neurotransmitter that promotes relaxation and reduces maybe the mental chatter that keeps you staring at the ceiling, right? I love that supplement. And it's ever since I've added it into my sleep sack, it has tend to help me quite a bit. I'm trying to think of another thing. So the combo between the magnesium and the GABA, it mimics a lot of the ingredient profiles of a really popular sleep supplement called Portal. So it's an excellent product. I love Portal, but I just can't justify the monthly subscription when I can sort of DIY it myself with bulk ingredients for a fraction of the price. But more so, let me be clear. No supplement replaces good sleep hygiene. So things like this, right? I shut down caffeine intake afternoon. I dim my lights. 2 hours before bed, I wear my Roca blue light blockers. I keep my room cool and dark like a cave, and I banish my phone from the nightstand. And these habits alone transform my sleep quality. Supplements, yeah, they're just icing on the cake. You get your sleep environment and routine locked in first, and then layer in the supplements if you still need maybe some type of edge, right? At this point, everyone, I need you to, again, just so you know, right? I have a website. It's called adamringler.com. It's covering up my eyes right now, right in the middle of my face. But I need you, there we go. I need you to head over to that website. Sign up. There's a free subscription in the upper right-hand corner. You can click it, subscribe. You can get immediate access to all of our articles, our webinars, everything that we've been sending out. You'll get immediate access to it. And there's some other levels, a premium level. There's the Former Athlete Society. You can certainly join, but you don't have to. You can just join the free and you can get all of the information there. That's where I'm putting all of my long form content, articles, things I'm thinking about, all into that website. So again, take a moment, head over, adamringler.com, check it out, subscribe, log in today. Okay, next question. We got to dive into this. I want to make sure we get this one. This one's from Jake from Texas. Again, I talked about, there was a question, which is so cool about the Former Athlete Society. We had some people, a question came in from Austin. So now Jake just says Texas. So I have no idea what part of Texas, right? Fort Worth, I've been there. Waco, right? I'm trying to think. So we were traveling through the Big 12. But Jake from Texas asked, what's your take on drop sets, coach? Do you rest pause? Do you do FST7? I actually did FST7. Are they worth it? I think they are. I I think there's some really cool and novel things about intensifiers, right? It brings us into the art of programming, right? And intensifiers aren't mandatory, but they are a phenomenal way to maybe break through plateaus and maybe inject some variety when used wisely. And that's the key point. Drop sets are still, one of my favorites for isolation work. So you picture this, right? If you're unfamiliar, if you're part of the Former Athlete Society, you've never done a drop set, right? I'm a strength and conditioning coach, been one for 20 years. I get that this sounds pretty like common, but picture this, right? You're doing lateral raises to failure at 30 pounds. Immediately, once you hit failure, you immediately grab the 20s, you pump out another 10 reps, and then you finish with the 15 pounders to complete the burnout. This is a triple drop set, and it floods the muscle with blood and metabolites, sparking hypertrophy. Now, rest pause on the other example sets are perfect for stubborn lifts, like incline, barbell, bench press. I love this one. You hit failure at 10 reps, you rest 15 seconds, you squeeze out another 3 to 5 more reps, you rest again for another 10, 15 seconds, and you repeat. And it's brutal for time efficient training that adds volume to it. FST 7, right? This is 7 sets of 8 to 12 reps, although I've made my own version of it. I do 7 sets of 7 just because of the name, FST 7, whatever, right? It's a great finisher for lagging body parts like arms or delts or anything. I've often used it for hypertrophy phases, but I cycle it in and out during some of my strength focused blocks to maybe manage my own recovery. The caveat is don't apply these methods to maybe all movements for every movement. You don't want to take a squat or a deadlift to mechanical failure and risk maybe injury. So keep intensifiers in your accessories or your secondary, tertiary blocks where your form and breakdown carries maybe less consequences. Think of these techniques like an espresso shot. A few gives you energy and focus. Too many back to back and your nervous system just completely crashes out. So great question. Hopefully you got an idea. I love intensifiers. I think they're amazing for your strength conditioning program. I absolutely love them. Let's move on. We got some more questions here. Question 4. I'm just trying to pick from the email and our Former Athlete Society message board. Again, you can get all of these in to us. Right? You can also, like anything else, you can go over to our YouTube. You can leave a comment. While you're over there, hit the notification bell, right? And sign up for advanced notifications. But more importantly, if you're like, Adam, how do I get questions to you and to the Former Athlete Society? One of the easiest ways is right here. Just hit me up on Adam Ringler at Instagram. Find me there. Hit your questions. DM me, right? And I will answer them either directly on my Instagram or I'll save them for these YouTube Q&As. Right? If you show up live, you get an opportunity. If you're part of a Former Athlete Society, you have the exclusive link, and you get that link right here at adamringler.com. You join a Former Athlete Society group. You can join these calls live. Now, if you're not part of the Former Athlete Society, you can still, like I said, you can head over here, send me the messages, and I'll add them to the database, and I'll answer them as they come in. So that's a way of getting your questions to me. Now, let's move on. Lindsay from Seattle, another Seattle. This is so rad. Again, I said this before. We used to travel in the Pac-12 as part of Colorado. I love Seattle. It's an awesome town. So, Adam, I'm cutting for this summer. Should I stick with tea instead of coffee? Well, listen, I think this, right? Coffee and tea are both great options as long as you're mindful of what you add to them, right? They're just essentially water and either a coffee bean or, tea, a plant. So, it's really what you add to it. There's the creamer or the sweetener and all those things, the milk, right? Black coffee and unsweetened tea are effectively calorie free, but you pour in those flavored creamers or sugars or syrups and you're now got a 300 to 400 calorie snack that eats into your deficit. So I'm fiercely loyal to my coffee, right? My brand of choice. Everybody that works with me knows it. It's Death Wish coffee. I love it. It's the most caffeinated coffee out there. It's strong. It's bold. It starts my day, gets me going. That said, I am strict about my cutoff time. No caffeine, not in energy drinks, not in anything after 12 p.m. Now, you might say, hey, Adam, why that? Well, caffeine's half-life means that a 2 p.m. espresso shot might still be circulating in your bloodstream by bedtime. And that wrecks your deep sleep cycles. And I said before, right, I protect my sleep like it's sacred. So tea does have some perks that coffee doesn't, right? Green tea contains EGCG, which is it offers some minor metabolic benefits, right? Herbal teas like chamomile are great for evenings when you're trying to wind down or do things like that. But the bottom line is this: just drink what you enjoy, right? Track it in your macro tracking app of choice. I use Macro Factor, right? But Carbon or MyFitnessPal, all of these are great tracking apps for your nutrition, right? Track any add-ins like sugar or creamers or things like that so you're not unknowingly sabotaging your goals. That would be my recommendation. And if you do that, I think you're good, right? Like you're going to be in a really, really good position to leverage those calories in a way that your body will thank and like, right? So that said, maybe the last thing I kind of want to get into again, and I've said this before, you're probably watching this right now on YouTube, but if you're watching a clip on LinkedIn, or on Instagram, or on any of these platforms, I have a YouTube channel. It's Adam Ringler. I'd like you to go over there, like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, become one of our members, and help drive maybe the algorithm so we can get some of this content out to the masses. Last question for our former athlete Q&A, and it's all around meal prep, right? So I get this question, and it's Chris from Denver. He asks the former Athlete Society, Adam, how do you stay consistent with meal prep when life gets busy? And that's tough. So meal prep for me, it's a non-negotiable, right? I love meal prepping. It's part of what I do, but it is maybe the linchpin of nutritional success, right? If your meals aren't prepped, right, and you're going through drive-throughs or you're going from grocery stores or convenience stores to find foods, that's 99% of the time, that's just junk. So here's my system. I keep a steady rotation of chicken breasts, moving from the freezer to the fridge to my air fryer. Right? I do that so there's always thawed protein ready to cook. So Sundays are batch cooking days for me. I do things like grilled chicken breasts. I batch cook that. I throw it in the air fryer, roasted vegetables, rice. I'm pretty low carb right now, but I portion everything into these bento box sort of Tupperwares, and I stack them in the fridge for easy grab and go. Think of like just being able to reach into your fridge and grab Tupperware that already has 40 to 50 grams of protein. I even backed what was called a Mimo Bento, and it's a Kickstarter for their sort of innovative modular containers. I'm waiting for their launch, although this is my cue to them that they're struggling right now on their Kickstarter. So Mimo, right, you guys got some work to do on that. But you can just use a Rubbermaid Tupperware as well. Now, for travel, I always travel with my Yeti Day Trip lunchbox. I'm a Yeti snob, I'll say that. But that lunchbox keeps my meals cold and cool for hours. So plane rides, road trips, hotel stays, I don't leave home without food. And now, this isn't about discipline, it's about removing friction. When clean food is accessible and it's convenient, you can eliminate decision fatigue, you can stick to your plan effortlessly. So if you want a pro tip, accept that not every meal needs to be gourmet, right? I've ate chicken out of plastic bags and Tupperware when it's cold, but it works. Your body doesn't care if it's a Michelin-starred restaurant. It just cares about consistency. So those are my Q&A questions. I think that's a wrap, everybody, for this YouTube video. And if you've stuck with me this long, then it means that you're serious about your goals. And I respect the hell out of that you're committed to yourself. So here's your challenge. With one of the things that I've shared today, pick one strategy and start implementing it this week. And watch your momentum build. Watch your progress continue to improve. Now, if you found this valuable, you know what I'm going to say. You know what's coming up next, right? This is what I need you to do. I need you to like, comment, hit the notification bell, but share it with the former teammate, share it with the friend, share it with the coach, share it with the family member, right? And then as always, you can always head over to adamringler.com. That's where I take all of this information and I convert it into more long form content. You'll find a whole database right there where you can find all of that information in real time, 24/7. So thanks for hanging out. Stay strong, stay consistent, and I will see you on the next call, everyone. I appreciate you. Thanks for showing up for yourself. Till next time.